It's me, Ari Dotson, you can call me Rashid. I'm an anthropologist and sociologist. And this short video, I want to address this common human tendency that disrupts peace amongst one another. And it's the tendency to jump ship. Where does the term jumping ship come from? Now, in the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th century, sailors were stationed in the colonial territories. And as a sailor, you were expected to stay on board. You were not allowed to leave the ship unless the captain or one of your superiors permitted you to leave ship. So let's say you were a French sailor and you were in Guadeloupe in, let's say, 1780. If you went on land just to get some rum or to feed some prostitutes or to do something on land without the permission from the captain or the first officer on the ship, when you came back, you were locked up on the ship. Discipline was fair because that's almost treason. Because what if your fellow crew members were under attack suddenly? Now you're not there. So jumping ship referred to illegally leaving a ship as a sailor without permission from your superiors. And it happened from time to time that sailors did this, and when they came back, they were in big trouble. Now, it's similar to going MIA, missing in action. That's when a soldier is supposed to be on the battlefield, but he's not there, either because he's kidnapped or dead or simply going AWOL. Abs- he's absent without leave. So that means he is also gone without informing his superiors. Now, whether you use the term MIA, missing in action, or AWOL, absent without leave, or use jumping ship, it comes down to the same thing. Human beings in this fallen state have the tendency to escape responsibilities. And this tendency to escape responsibilities is triggered anytime there's a perceived loss on their side. I said perceived loss. Let me give an example. You are a recruiter and you have to recruit people for your client. Your client is a coffee factory and he wants to recruit a few managers. So you as a recruiter, you have few candidates. You have one candidate that stood out. The reason he stood out is because he worked at a rival company for over 10 years. He had a rank below CEO over there. So you thought to yourself, don't a minute. This guy worked for another coffee brand and he had a rank just below CEO. He earned far more money in the previous position. Why would he want to become a simple manager in a local factory here, earning far less than he did at his previous job? Or why would he be okay with downgrading like that? So you wanted to know what's up. And when you ask the candidate about his motivation, he always said, well, I want to spend more time with my family. Being a rank below CEO takes a lot of toll on you. And, I just want to spend more time with my family. But then you look on social media, all his children are grown. All his children are above age 20. So you think to yourself, which family does he want to spend time with? All his children are adults already. So you were thinking to yourself, this client, he fits the requirements. He's actually overqualified. He fits the requirements the most, nevertheless. But you decided not to give him the job because you don't trust it. You know what? You're doing well. A few months later, you hear that the other coffee brand uh, faced lawsuits for uh, money laundering, human trafficking, all type of other stuff. And now you remember that other candidate that wanted to apply to become a local manager. And you realize now that that other guy was just jumping ship. That other guy was a rank below CEO, so he knew a lot was going on in that other company. And he realized, you know what? Things are going down over here. Scandals about to come out, And if the scandals come out and I'm still working here, I'll be associated with scandals, and that's going to ruin my reputation and ruin my prospects for getting either another job or venture into other things financially. So, right on time, he decided to leave the job. Now, is this a wrong thing to do? Now, if he was fully innocent of all that went on, and if he did his best to address the issues, but nobody wanted to cooperate, then he should jump ship. But if he was fully part of what's going on, or he let bad things happen, and now he won't take responsibility, that's just cowardly. In any case, he was jumping ship. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're on a literal ship and it's sinking, go to life vessels. If you are in a, let's say, a cafe or a restaurant, whatever, and tension increases, leave. Or if needed, call the cops. I'm not a fan of calling the cops, but if necessary, call the cops to come intervene. Because you have obligations towards the rest of the people there. You don't just only think about yourself. But anyway, you leave, which is a good thing. So leaving a bad situation in itself is not wrong. But it's the context in which you leave a bad situation that matters. If you leave a bad situation that you should have addressed, that you could have addressed easily, then that's just being cowardly. That's wrong. If you leave a bad situation in which you did what you could to address it in a constructive way, or there's no way you can constructively address it, okay, that's proper. Then you leave. So jumping ship, it happens often. This is one of the fallen tendencies of mankind that no government can suppress. Governments can suppress criminal behavior with high prison sentences or with the death penalty to some extent, because the death penalty is not that effective. It only hinders people a little bit, but it doesn't really work long term. But anyway, whether it's prison sentence or the death penalty, or some countries even use torture, but informally still, doesn't matter whether it's how hard the punishment is. Human beings, unless they're renewed in their mind, they will jump ship when things get too difficult. Only few of us stay loyal when things are difficult. Most people jump ship. For example, let's say you're on a dating app. By the way, dating apps are risky, but okay, I'm going to continue my example. Let's say you're on a dating app and you see this guy over there. You're a woman and you see this guy. And they quote the guy is cute, handsome, whatever. You want to meet him. While meeting him, he tells you, oh, I'm just divorced. I thought to yourself, huh, but you never told me on the app you were divorced, so we were talking. Well, it didn't work out, this and that. Is it smart for you to just believe the guy? Or should you do your research? Well, you should do your research, absolutely. But let's say you decide, you know what, the guy is handsome, cute, he's not with any other woman now, he's mine, I got the match, you end up move in with him, and you end up marrying the guy. Now you're married with the guy, suddenly you notice he's quite lazy, he's quite argumentative, and even sometimes become physically violent. And you think, whoa, this is not the man I met on the dating app, this is not the man I was dating, this is the man I married. Well, guess what? This is the man you were dating, this is the man you moved into, this is the man you married. Now you find out after looking up who his ex-wife was that this guy just left a family of small children behind just to quote unquote find himself. He just abandoned his responsibilities. Instead of facing himself and admitting that his expectations of a family life were off, that the reality is different than what he expected, instead of dealing with reality through therapy, whatever, he decided to just jump ship. If you would have done your research in his background, if you had done a proper background check, you would figure out this guy is not a good idea for you. By the way, the fact you triggered out of him that he was recently divorced and he never even told you that he was divorced and he had children already, that alone is a red flag. The moment you met him on a date and you found out about this, you should realize, okay, this is a big red flag. I should not continue with this guy. How come you told such relevant information from someone you see a future with? If he sees a future between him and you together, then why didn't he inform you about these relevant things? There's no way to justify that at all. Now, this often happens that we notice an inconsistency or something is off with someone and we brush it off because it's more convenient to do so. Never do that. I'm not telling you to go full force confronting them and starting conflict. No. I'm telling you, pay close attention and take note when you see an inconsistency or you know something is off with someone and look into it. Because if someone is hiding crucial, relevant information from you that you are entitled to know, because as a human being, whether you're a stranger to someone or someone they're involved with, you have the right to be safe and secure. So if there's something about the other individual that may jeopardize your safety and your long-term well-being, you have a right to know that. So when someone is withholding relevant information from you, that means that this individual is going to jump ship anytime things go down. Simple as that. The fact alone that they were deceiving you and they were taking advantage of you by withholding relevant information, that means that they know very well that if they would have played open card with you and be full transparent, you may not have wanted to be involved with them. You would have decided to go elsewhere. So they just want to keep you there without regarding how it affects you, your time, and your life. It's all about them preserving their comfort. The moment things are about to come out, they just jump ship, just like that. And there's something we need to remember. When people fail to be safe and, let's say, when people fail you to be safe and trustworthy, you should see that as the warning symptom that you need to in order to get away from them. That is the only warning you need when someone withholds relevant information from you. When they fail you in being safe and trustworthy, that means that this individual does not care about your well being or your safety, and how their behavior affects you. It's all about their ease. The moment their ease is disrupted, they will jump ship. And if they can't jump ship easily, they will escalate over there, cause drama. Look, a lot of people in your life would jump ship anytime and turn on you. Let me give you the game over here. Let's say you have people that dislike you, but the people that dislike you are just low life people with nothing going for them. They have no job, or even if they have a job, it's a 9 to 5 that drains them, or they don't have their own business, they have no high financial cash flow, they have no thing, they have nothing really going for them in daily life. If your people do not like you and have nothing going in life for them, people may think, how well, F it, those people don't like or shit, what are those people doing? But what if there are people who dislike, and let me use myself as an example. Let's say the people that dislike me, and those people are CEOs, managers, or one is a high-ranking criminal in the streets. Now, people are going to consider them. Why? Because they have a leverage out there. And human beings in this fallen state, they always want to associate themselves with those who have the leverage in the here and now. So let's say now that you have people that dislike me and they have a little leverage going on for them. A lot of folks would consider this side of the story right now, even when this side of the story does not add up. The fact is, those people are not really for me nor with me. They're only around me because they see the benefits around me, because of the anointing in my life. But they will keep those other people that are against me as an option. So anytime they get upset in life and they want an escape, they'll act like they lost interest in my ministry, or that they were offended by one of my videos or live streams. They'll come with some excuse just to get away from me, and they'll join other people complaining about me. Why? Because those other people may help them get a job, or uh, or some of those other people may be sexually attractive, so they think, or maybe they have a way with them. So them jumping ship from me revealed how they were all along. Look, if I suddenly turned dark and promoting negativity, okay, that would be different. If you then walk away, that would be different. But if then you just go to the other side, just like that, just because someone went down. Well, but if you don't, if you didn't go down and you're still consistent and moving forward, and people jump ship, it's because the Heavenly Father triggers people to leave you. Those people, anytime the things will become uncomfortable for them, they would either leash off of you at your expense, or they would join people that are against you just to justify why they're leaving you. Simple as that. So, listen, when someone wants to jump ship, let them jump ship. Don't stop from jumping ship. Let them jump ship and let them leave. Judas jumped ship because Judas perceived that betraying Christ would give him a financial advantage right now. And Judas thought, well, Christ is powerful anyway. He can get himself out of trouble anyway. Judas, because he valued the worldly comfort more than the long term advantages of serving Christ, he jumped ship. So, jumping ship means that people turn on you or forfeit you just to obtain a perceived benefit somewhere else. They perceive a loss as being associated with you, whether the loss is real or imagined, doesn't matter. They perceive the loss to them is a real loss. So now they look for a substitute to replace you. And let me tell you, this tendency is something that people only will unlearn, and they will only outgrow this tendency when they're serving Christ. So if someone is not actively serving Christ, don't expect long-term loyalty from them. Let me repeat that. Don't expect long-term loyalty from people unless they are seriously serving Christ. If they are not faithful towards the Heavenly Father Himself, how can you think they'll be faithful towards you? If they're not faithful towards God, how do you think they'll be faithful towards you? Don't expect people to treat you better than how they treat God. Don't expect people to treat you, a fellow human being, better than how they treat God, their Heavenly Father. If they dishonor their Heavenly Father like that, what do you think they'll do with you, a fellow human being? Look, anytime there is a perceived loss, or let's say there's an actual loss going on. Let's say you have a political party that's going bankrupt. Now, let's say you have a Green Party, but the Green Party is lacking funds and is kind of going bankrupt. And now you have the Conservative Party over there, and the Conservative Party is booming. Let's say you have a member of the Green Party suddenly considering joining the Conservative Party, but they're not sure yet how to get away from the Green Party, Conservative Party, because they know to make them look bad. So now they'll come up with an excuse why they left the Green Party and why they joined the Conservative Party. Remember, all their friends and associates have the green ideals. So they have to leave all those people behind and suddenly make conservative friends, so have conservative associations. Now the conservatives going to think, how come you were part of the green movement for 10, 15 years and suddenly you're all a conservative now? The conservatives going to realize, no, you're just jumping ship. It's because our political party still have financial flow going on and still has a better reputation in the Green Party. Now suddenly you just want to escape. So you were never loyal to the Green Parties. You won't be loyal towards us too. Just understand, when someone is jumping ship in an open way, the open and jumping ship, it will always fail. Because people can figure out, nah, you just want to escape. You just want to join us, just to escape facing yourself. Nobody's going to take that. That's why when people often jump ship, they'll try to bring down the organization or the people or the cause they were part of. If someone's part of the Green movement and either want to become conservative or liberal, they'll come with counter arguments to bring down the cause you were part of. Or if someone was married to you and they want to jump ship because they want to develop as a marriage partner, they will always use some weakness of you against you as an excuse to divorce you, just to bail themselves out. Because if they just leave you just like that because you just want to be left alone every easier, nobody's going to agree with that, and nobody's going to support them for that because it'll be obvious to everyone they're abusive and toxic. So when people jump ship, often they will do it in a covert way. They'll use some type of blackmail or excuse just to get away from something they don't want to deal with, because the reason they do it in such a way with an excuse or with blackmail is because they do not want others to see them for what they are, cowards. But just understand this: people are going to jump ship. And listen, when they jump ship, it has nothing to do with you. It is all to do with them. If they are jumping ship, don't go after them. Let them jump ship. Some people will unfriend you on Facebook or block your social media, and then you figure out what happened. What happened? They never addressed. They were upset with you. Nothing. They just left. It is all to do with them. And then other people will tell you later on that this individual was going through some hardship in life. But they think, hold on a minute. They went through a hardship in life, but you were not the reason of that hardship. You didn't cause hardship and you didn't enable hardship. Why they took it out on you by blocking you? It's because it was the easiest for them to do. They just jumped ship. They forgot all the good things you did for them just because they needed an escape. Some people will jump ship from you in such a horrible way. Let them. I'm telling you, the only time it's legitimate and allowed to leave a bad situation is when you are the innocent party or when you did what you could to address it in a constructive way. Or if there's no actual way you can do anything about it constructively, then you leave a bad situation. If you are part of the bad situation, you should contribute to the solution. You owe it to yourself and to other people and to the Heavenly Father. Okay, you should still go for safety. Don't get me wrong. If you're in a marriage that's toxic and you realize that you have the differences between you and your partner can't be reconciled, then you ask for divorce. In this case, you're part of the problem too, but because you realize, okay, it can't be resolved, okay, let's separate before this gets further out of hands. Or if you worked at a company and you also uh, went along with the culture of silence for not addressing things, if you realize that addressing things is going to get you in big trouble and get others to come after you and attack you, okay, then you leave quietly. So but that's what I mean. You leave a bad situation after you did your part, or if there was no possibility, you do your part. But you're just perceiving a potential bad outcome or perceiving some bad news, and you're just leaving. What the heck is that? But let me tell you, that's a common human tendency that everyone develops until they're renewed in their mind. Now, some people out there are decent, they suppress this tendency inside of them to just jump ship, but they do it with difficulty. The only ones who are truly free from this tendency to jump ship are those who have been renewed in their mind. So, do not expect long term loyalty from those who are not serving Christ. Don't do it. Because you'll be disappointed. You'll put yourself in a bad situation where you end up disappointed, betrayed, and taken advantage of. Don't do that. Well, that's it for now. Keep on agreeing with Christ and be at peace.